Our reading today comes from a gentleman that you are probably familiar with because I continue to include him in our readings, John O'Donohue. I regret I cannot bring it to life with the same beautiful Irish accent as his, but I will do my best. His poem is entitled Bannock, which is Gaelic for blessing. It's called Blessing for a New Year. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the gray window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colors, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. As we heard in our prayer today, the fire communion and the beginning of the new year is about saying both goodbye to the year past and hello to the year ahead. The prerequisite, in my opinion, to letting go is reflecting on what has happened, the highs and the lows, and trying to make sense of it. At the turn of the year, we sometimes do this by watching our Spotify Wrapped video, reading those most important things to happen this year articles, or reminiscing with our friends and family. It does seem to be the case, however, that often during our reflections, our minds are called back most vividly to the bad. All the awful things that made this year a dumpster fire. And in our urge to make meaning, we ask the question, why? We all want to know the whys of life most ardently when life hands us a particularly hard pill to swallow. Think about it, we rarely ask, why did I win the lottery? Or why did my dreams come true? Or why was I born so strikingly handsome? So wildly intelligent, right? But we always want to know, why did my mother's eyesight fail? Why did the tree have to fall on my brand new car? Or why did my friend become ill? I think perhaps we do not ask the whys when the good things happen because either we have learned not to look a gift horse in the mouth, or because the underlying implication seems to be that we deserve it. Rather than believe it is all chance, we prefer to believe in a meritocracy of sorts. And so the idea that we could deserve to win the lottery, well, that just makes sense. Of course, we deserve good things to come our way. But that same thought process doesn't prepare us for the question of why, when we experience pain, suffering, loss, hardship, certainly we do not deserve that. We're good, hardworking people after all. And the truth of the matter is, as Marcus Aurelius shared in his timeless meditations, death and life, success and failure, pain and pleasure, wealth and poverty, all these things happen to good and to bad alike, and they are neither noble nor shameful. Well, to that I say, Mr. Aurelius, well, this may be mostly philosophically correct. It sure isn't a satisfying answer. The why we ask when bad things happen remains a pervasive question because knowing the answer to it, if there is an answer that can be identified, helps us feel a sense of control in situations in which we otherwise feel helpless. We think if we could just insert answer here, we could prevent this from ever happening again. And that way, we can feel safe. Did you see that playing out in the news this week? This is why that happened. If we don't do that, we'll be okay. And if we cannot prevent such suffering from happening, believing that there is a benevolent force in the universe who can, allows us some peace of mind that bad things may happen, but that ultimately there is a plan in which our needs are being considered. I think in the end, however, when bad things happen to us, it's not the why that matters so much as the how. How will I move forward from this? How will I be present to this moment or be grateful for what I do have in the face of all that I've lost? How will I keep my heart open to the possibility of beauty and goodness in the face of suffering? Why makes us passive recipients of life's wayward and haphazard dealings? But how makes us active participants? It gives us a course we can chart through it. December was the end of a difficult year for many. So difficult, I brought my crocheted F-bombs today. Aside from our own personal struggles and losses, 2025 was another year full of wars. Another year full of creeping concerns about AI and its ethical and ecological impact. Good catch. Sweeping wildfires across the West Coast, inflated grocery costs during SNAP benefits loss, and the horrifying onslaught of ICE raids. I wish I had more of these friends. Good job, Valletta. For many of us, we are happy to leave 2025 in the past. In fact, we might prefer to just light a match, set it ablaze, and walk away from it, rather than to try and salvage anything good in the wreckage. I know I felt this way sometimes this year too, like my heart simply could not handle one more piece of bad news, one more dire political situation, one more image of suffering and pain. So to those who feel this way, I say the turning of the year is a threshold, one to journey through and mentally, spiritually begin anew, wipe clean the slate of all we have gone through in 2025. But then I think of baby Magnolia being born this year. I think of all of those among us who have fallen madly in love this year, or made a new best friend, or gotten the lead part in a school play. I think of the 75th anniversary of fun. I think of the green turtle being taken off the endangered species list. I think about the Chicago River being clean enough to swim in for the first time in 98 years. And the profound poetry of the late Andrea Gibson finally reaching the ears of the world. I think about how renewable energy finally surpassed coal as the world's top electricity source. I think about how Beyoncé became the first Black woman to win a Grammy for a country album. And how conservative-leaning Supreme Court chose not to hear a case to overturn same-sex marriage. And in this remembering, I realize that for me, and perhaps for you too, that to simply set the year ablaze and walk away from it is to overlook all of the good still hidden in the crevices. It may take time to find that good, but in doing so, we are fighting for the things that make life worth living. We are gifting ourselves with both perspective and purpose. It's not enough to deconstruct by asking why. We must reconstruct with the how. How can we cultivate a life that focuses more on the joy, the love, the art, the gift, the triumphs? How can we focus our energy into justice and mercy and love? Not to ignore the pain and the suffering, the challenges and the hardships, but to not allow it to burn us up. That is the greatest form of resistance, is it not? This time of year, we set intentions for ourselves that we hope to look back on and feel pride about. This setting of intentions is the how. It is the way to chart a course through the next year and hold fast to our goal of finding something worthy, despite whatever comes our way. Today, we are engaging in a tradition of separating the wheat from the chaff, as the saying goes. We burn away all that keeps the good hidden away from our memories, all the things we wish to release into the universe to stay only in the past, and set intentions for how we will move through this next year of life. So, this is where that tissue paper comes into play. You should have found some tissue paper and a pencil or pen or marker when you entered the sanctuary today. If you didn't, that's okay. You can raise your hand in a moment and I will help you find some, okay? For those of you online, I invite you to grab some tissue paper left over from the holidays or Kleenex or a piece of paper and a writing utensil. At least 2 pieces of tissue paper. Okay. The first paper will be used to say your goodbyes to 2025. Take a moment and think of the ways in which you have grown. Ideas, thoughts, patterns, people, relationships, or events that you would like to let go of moving into the new year. They don't have to be bad things. They could simply be things you have outgrown or are ready to move on from. And you're going to list those things on the first piece of tissue paper. Fill it up if you need to, and guess what? We have more. And the second piece of paper will be to write your intentions. What is your how? What are the ways you wish to grow in the new year? What are the experiences you hope to have, or even the word you have chosen for this new year? You'll write that down, you'll fold it up, keep it in your purse or your wallet, or put it on a bookshelf someplace that you can refer back to. Let us begin now, and if you need some tissue paper, just raise your hand.